somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to another edition of The Local Show here on GrassRoots Community Network. Our season finale, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'm Erik Skarvan, your host. Joining you once again, where each week we feature inspirational locals here live from Aspen, Colorado. And I want to welcome back a friend. She's a best-selling author herself, and she is the founder of the Gonzo Foundation. It's Anita Thompson. Welcome back to the show, Anita.
Thank you so much for having me back. I love this place.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting GrassRoots TV. And we're going to talk more about that, how you guys are involved in the community with the Gonzo Foundation. And I want to kind of start where we had left off in the last show. And you joined us last winter. And you had talked about Owl Farm, where you and Hunter had had this beautiful, farm in Woody Creek, and you guys were going for a historic designation. And can you update us?
So Hunter and I were not going for a historic designation. It was, it was his home, and we lived there together for the last 5. I lived there since year 2000.
Okay.
But anyway, the way the National Park Service works with a historic designation of a property. After 50 years, if that property has relevance with literature or history or some kind of moment in American culture, then you can apply. It's a very lengthy process. I had no idea how long this process would be, but I can understand why they have to be very careful about who they designate, because once it's designated, it's a federal landmark, essentially.
Okay.
And Hunter's home is now, there's several rooms that I maintain as a private museum. And after Hunter died, actually, it brought me comfort just to keep everything the way he left it. It was a very personal reason that I left everything the way as he left it. Like furniture, even cups and things on the walls, and food I did throw away. Food that went bad, but even jars of mustard and everything. I just kept it for my own personal comfort because it brought me comfort after he died. But then after I graduated from Columbia in American Studies, 3 years later, I was constantly commuting from Owl Farm to New York City to finish my bachelor's degree. I realized how important it is for writers and people who love politics and journalism and Hunter's work that meant more to me, not just for personal reasons anymore. It was just to contribute to the Hunter's legacy and to the American literature legacy and contribute to that. So then after about 3 years, I started to move his slippers and things from the other rooms. Like the half of the house where our bedroom was, I've updated like carpet and things. But the 3 rooms remain that he worked in, our museum. And on that vein is why I decided to apply for Owl Farm to be actually registered with Ernest Hemingway's home, Mark Twain's home, F. Scott Fitzgerald. So it's a really exciting process. And we were working with a state representative who works with the National Park Service. He's a historian. And in the middle of it, I don't know if he was inspired by Hunter, but he ended up quitting and has now moved on to his own higher level career. And he's really a great person, but we'll miss him. So anyway, I extended it to January because we lost this great agent. But I'm proud of him for moving up, up in life. But anyway, so that's it's a long process,
So you're still in that process.
Still in the process, and also working with the county, Pitkin County, which is my favorite county in the world, as you know. They've been great. They're so understaffed, but they have really great communication still. They keep us posted on when our appointments will be, because I'm working with the county, too, to get a designation.
Okay. So you have to kind of coordinate with the county and then the federal government.
Yeah, exactly. Well, both. The federal government and the county are separate, but it's also important to Pitkin County. It's not just a national. I mean, Hunter was important on a national level, but also locally. I mean, so many people I meet love his work and remember Hunter fondly. With Bob Broadus,
Right, which we'll talk a little bit about Sheriff Bob today, too.
Yeah.
So Hunter is known, obviously, for his kind of Gonzo style. He brought his unique style into political writing, and he was someone that was very well known. There's a movie I saw recently, actually,
So
Fear
many
and
movies.
Loathing.
Yes, yes.
With Johnny Depp. And
Yes.
Johnny Depp had actually lived on Owl Farm
Yes,
for a little
he lived
bit, right?
in one of the rooms for several months, getting to know Hunter. They fell in love. They became very good friends, and then he did the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and then later, after Hunter died, he did Rum Diary. But there are so many other movies out. I've been in touch with Patricia Arquette.
Yes,
She
sure.
had her
She's great.
directorial debut. Directing a movie called Gonzo Girl, based on a book that some assistant wrote. She was there for a couple of months, and then she wrote a book recently, and it's based on Hunter's world and on Hunter, but it's not. It's someone named Walker Reed, and Willem Dafoe is playing that Hunter Walker Reed character.
Wow.
And Willem Dafoe's they're both such a beautiful people, Patricia and Willem. So I wish them the best. And that movie will come out next year. And then the Gyllenhaals, there's also a family from that industry. They bought the rights to my first book, The Gonzo Way.
Okay.
And that is in production for a movie. We don't know. We haven't got. It's really exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Hunter. I can't even tell you how proud I am of him. All the work he did. His contributions to literature are really important and significant. But in November 23rd, 1963 is when Jack Kennedy was assassinated, and that day he decided he was no longer going to be a novelist, that was a luxury he couldn't afford because his skill level was in writing, so he would be a journalist and become politically active. That day he made a declaration that he won't be a novelist anymore. He will be an activist, like he would be on the front lines, and he was for the rest of his life.
Incredible. That was like his greater purpose.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. He thought it was more. Literature really is important, which he contributed to. But for him, politics is the art of controlling your environment.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and he was amazing, a total badass. He helped Lisa Lohman get released from prison. She was wrongly convicted.
Wow.
That's part of the story in the Gonzo Way that will be the Gyllenhaal's film.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Incredible.
beautiful energy going on now, so many years later. Because when a writer dies, you never know. There's no guarantee that their legacy will live on, that their books would be in print. Jack Kerouac's books were out of print for years, and then one day there was an ex-wife, actually, she did a float at a football game, and so he got some more traction again, but he almost was out of print forever. We almost lost a great American writer's legacy. So anyway, it's
no
just
guarantees.
no guarantees. So
Yeah.
the fact that Hunter's actually there are more dissertations being written about him now, more college courses, more high school courses around the globe. So I'm so proud of him. And spreading the word and promoting his work in Poland and Ukraine now. Ukraine will be the best place for his work right now as they enforce their own democracy, we hope.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much relevance right now.
Relevance, yeah. That's
and activism is more important than ever. And I want to talk more about that, but we got to take a
Okay,
quick break.
Okay,
We'll
sorry. I
rehydrate
just went on
for some heavy talking.
All right. So yeah, I just really went off. Thanks for asking.
No,
me about
it's good.
Hunter.
It's good.
I love talking.
We're
about
just going to
Hunter,
take a
so-
quick break, though. We do
Yes.
want to recognize our underwriters that make this show possible. Like you guys support artists and writers and public access TV like the local show. So I do want to thank the Gonzo Foundation, Gonzo Nation, Haiti Children, Klug Properties, the City of Aspen, Sundog Athletics, Picken County Solid Waste Center. We'll go to a quick break, guys. We'll be right back in 2 minutes with Anita Thompson. We're going to talk about her best-selling novel, and we're going to talk about political activism and how you guys can get involved. So don't go away. Support for the local show comes from the City of Aspen, reminding you that you can significantly reduce your carbon footprint by composting food scraps. When food is buried in the landfill, it produces extremely potent greenhouse gas emissions that adds to the trapping of heat in our atmosphere. You can become a climate change warrior by joining our compost program today. Learn more at aspen.gov.
The Gonzo Foundation is a nonprofit organization created to promote literature, journalism, and political activism through the legacy of Hunter S. Thompson and is a proud supporter of the local show and GrassRoots TV. For more information, visit thegonzofoundation.org.
Locally owned and located at the base of Aspen Highlands, Highlands Ale House features delicious scratch-made comfort food, cocktails, beer, and more. Their sunny outdoor deck is ski in, ski out. 2 miles from Aspen, they're open daily, winter and summer.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Donate, shop, and save. The Mother Lode Mercantile, now open at the Picken County Landfill.
Celebrating our 26th anniversary, Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to experience Aspen's most amazing adventure locations and gain new skills to increase your safety, performance, and enjoyment while mountain biking, road biking, hiking, and paddling on Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure. Like Sundog Athletics on Facebook for fresh adventure updates.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
We're back here on the local show, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. We're going Gonzo in Aspen with Miss Gonzo herself. We're going to call her. Anita Thompson back in the house. Let's go to your book, Anita, The Gonzo Way. So, one would think naturally Hunter was the inspiration, but can you tell us a little bit about
he
the
absolutely
Gonzo
was.
Way?
Thank you for asking. He actually was the inspiration because when he and I were working, I started as his research assistant, and I actually didn't know who, for some reason, even though I was active in the Sierra Club and Caliperg and politically active in LA at UCLA before I came here, he never made my radar. We were at the Jerome. I was with a friend, Dawn, and we were just watching. It was a football game came up, and I said, what is it about football that bond some men for life when they have nothing else in common? I'm just curious. And he said, I have the person to explain this to you. He's a sports writer. So he brought me over to Hunter's house as it was on a football Sunday. And Hunter's, he explained to me, it was about, he explained to me how fun football is by betting on every play. But anyway, I got to know him, but I didn't know, I thought his name was Hunter Thomas. And
It's like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I learned some things about sports.
But he blew my mind, and I couldn't stop thinking about him. I met my friend Victoria. I'm going way back. I'll get to the...
That's cool.
But I called Victoria, met her. She's my best friend, and I had to talk to her about this guy that I met. He's way too old for me, I thought. But I said, I can't get him off my mind. And he's from Louisville, which Victoria is from Louisville. Okay. And I said, you maybe would know him. People, I just started reading his work. It's amazing. We should spread the word about this guy. His name is Hunter Thomas from Louisville. She said, no, I think you're talking about Hunter Thompson, and he's really well known, Anita. You should So anyway, but I started working. We became friends. He had a girlfriend who I really liked, Heidi. She's an amazing person, but she ended up moving back to San Francisco. And Hunter asked, and I was going back to UCLA to finish my degree because I thought I would just come here for one semester kind of thing, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he said, well, you've taken so much time off, just stay and help me with research for one book, one winter essentially. And I said, sure, that's no problem. I'd love to help you. I love your work. And then I fell in love with him right away. He was one of the greatest, sweetest gentlemen and smartest and kindest people I know, along with being sometimes pretty hard to deal with. But so while I started working for him and obviously learned more about his work and we worked on his memoir together, and it was just full-time job which I loved. But I started the manuscript, The Gonzo Way. The original title was The Woman's Guide to Hunter S. Thompson. It was because a lot of his readership is male. It's just a lot of men. More and more women now, but that's how it started when he was alive, and he thought it was fun that I was doing it. And it was, helped me organize his philosophies and his work in general. And then after he died, I cut the manuscript way down with a publisher, Fulcrum. George McGovern, a really good friend of Hunter's who's a senator.
Yeah.
He got me in touch with the publishing house. So we created the Gonzo Way. And that is what it's now, they bought the film rights. It was a really great process. It was good for me also to work on this book after Hunter died again. I mean, I was working on it before he died, but after, it just helped me cope a little, and I missed him so much, and it was a good thing to focus on.
Yeah. Part of the healing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cathartic.
Exactly.
Process.
And now it's no longer like mourning or sad anymore. It's just really celebrating his life and just really proud of the work he did and the way he inspires other people. Yeah.
What would be some advice for aspiring writers that you would give as a best-selling author yourself? Living with Hunter, who was such a well-known author and writer and journalist. What would be just a couple bits of advice?
Well, first of all, I never considered myself a professional writer. I didn't fancy myself a writer, but I guess that is the first bit of advice, is if you're writing and publishing, you are a professional writer. And the hardest, and Tom Wolfe actually told me this part, the hardest part of writing is actually sitting down.
Yeah.
There's so much writing we think is going on in our head, which is true, but once you need to sit down, just sit down first. It sounds so elementary, but that's really the hardest part. And then once you do, doing editing later. For example, I have a writer in residence at the cabin. He grew up as this a high-level skier representing the United States. His name is Bobby, and he switched careers from ski racing to now he's a full-time writer. He got his degree in New York at the News School, and he takes the same level of discipline that he did for training as a practice. He takes that same level of focus and devotion and hard work and transferred it to writing. So he has hours, he sits down, he doesn't wait to find inspiration. He sits down every day and he writes.
And put the pen to paper.
Pen to paper, exactly. He uses a laptop.
It's getting down to brass tacks there.
Yeah, exactly. So Hunter was very much the same, although he would work more in spurts. So if you know the book, Hell's Angels was actually his first book. And he took it very seriously. He wrote the first half in 6 months, and then he looked at the calendar and realized he had 4 days left for the second half of the book, and he didn't know he could push deadlines back then. So he locked himself in a hotel room and did have some Dexedrine, like Adderall, basically what we have today, and a bottle of wild turkey, and he finished the second half, which many scholars think that that's the best half. But it's not, because he was on Dexedrine and wild turkey, which is a mistake a lot of Hunter fans make. They think doing drugs somehow helps you write. It doesn't. It was the muscle memory of writing every single day, Okay. I guess you know this when you're riding bike, like you're hiking and all your athletics. You don't just suddenly, like by wanting it more, it's a practice, right?
Yeah. Well, usually you do a smart, slow progression, and you gradually ramp up.
Okay.
But you want to be consistent.
You have a plan.
You want to be consistent.
Okay, consistent, and you have a plan.
And you also, for me, when you're inspired, take advantage of that. When you have good energy, take advantage of that. When you listen to your body and it says go,
good point.
Go. So when you're in those moods or those productive times, try to take advantage of that.
Same thing. It's the same thing. The human body and mind are so connected, then you apply it to your career, whatever it is.
And you guys, and through the Gonzo Foundation, you support these writers. Like you said, you're housing one, and giving assistance.
And Bobby also, takes care of the property, so he does a lot of the labor around them, takes care of like the manly stuff with like chainsaws or whatever, weed eating, all the tractor. He doesn't use his time like on any of the websites. Like he doesn't use his energy writing. All of his creative work is done at his own writing desk, and the rest is manual, outdoor work at Owl Farm. So it's perfect.
Okay.
It's a perfect setup. I'm so hopeful. But the Gonzo Foundation, yes, originally we have published new authors, one in particular, but now what we're focused on is Hunter S Thompson Scholarship for Veterans, exclusively for veterans at Columbia University.
Nice.
Yes, it's the only Ivy League university that has a place for non-traditional students, especially for veterans now. When I graduated, there were about 10 veterans in my class, and today there are like 110, maybe 100, a little more. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you
yeah,
guys.
Thank you.
That's so neat.
And
to recognize our veterans like that and to support them is huge.
Yeah, so important.
To give them, a purpose.
Yes.
Or help them fulfill their purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, another purpose, because they just had a major purpose coming back from war.
Yeah.
And they're making decisions for other. Columbia is a really good school, and it helped to, there are a lot of leaders that come from places like Columbia, and to empower veterans, because Hunter was a veteran too. He was Air Force.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was an Air Force. I too am a military man, as he would say. But he was on. It was very important to him to be honorably discharged, because he just simply, the authority and Hunter never quite meshed. But he had his whole life that I worked on, recording with him. He loved and respected veterans. He didn't not the military industrial complex, but veterans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And you had graduated from Columbia. Hunter had graduated from Columbia. So that's where that tie-in.
Yes, he attended. Yes.
And
he didn't need to
then of
graduate.
course the veteran tie-in is he's a veteran himself.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
it
so
seemed like
neat.
a perfect fit.
Let's talk about activism, because Hunter was like inspiring activism for us to get involved. I think it's really important, whether it's just your community or your country. Can you speak to that? Maybe some ways, maybe some simple ways locals can get involved locally,
Yes.
to try to make the difference that we need to see, especially with the changes that we've seen, the last couple of years, like in Aspen.
Yeah, I mean, being involved, for number one, voting is the most important thing. Obviously, there is democracy is taking a hit all over the world, as we have these dictator types, Trump types coming in. But voting in local elections and running for local office and being involved on a local level is the most effective thing you can do. That's how you can actually see change.
Right.
Yeah, it's all politics is local, is the way Hunter would put it. Dwight Shellman. And his relationship with Bob Broadus was so profound and so important to both of them for their own political activism, and also it's just simply in that they've bonded as deep friends, very intimate, beautiful friendship for decades. And Bob continued that for many years, and then he became kind of sick later, like we do as we get older. But he and Hunter were very active together in local politics, and also using those political connections to get to help campaign to get someone who is innocent out of prison. Her name is Lisa Lahman, and Bob was very involved with Hunter's campaign to get her heard by the Supreme Court. She had a really good appeals attorney because she was innocent of a crime that she was convicted of, felony murder.
Wow.
Life without parole. It was just, Hunter had followed her plight in the news when it happened, and then he kind of forgot about it, and she sent him a letter just not asking for anything, just thanking him for the laughs in his book Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And then he gave me the letter, and I looked up her website, and I said, this is insane. I can't believe this is happening. I know that there is so much corruption around prison sentencing and all of that, but this is insane. So we just he made some phone calls, started a campaign, he got the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers involved, and we had a rally at the Capitol, and the Supreme Court overturned her conviction 2 weeks after Hunter died.
Wow.
Yeah, so he wasn't
That's
able
incredible.
to see his work, but Bob Broadus was.
He was instrumental.
Yep.
So there's a couple things in there. It's like, if you want to be effective, pick your issue. Like, don't get spread out too thin.
That's a good point.
Pick
Like
zero in
woodpecker.
kind of on your pet issue. Coalitions. When you get like these key players like Bob, and or Hunter and Bob partnered up, our Sheriff
They're
Bob
powerful
Broadus.
guys, yes.
So that's another kind of way that you can be effective. I think just letters to the editor. I wrote 3 this summer myself. A couple were about community safety. The other one was about the excessive construction. Those appeared
Yeah.
last week in the papers.
Yeah,
So I
nice.
think they'll write letter to the editor.
Exactly.
It's a great way,
yeah,
right?
It's focusing on something local. Like exactly, that's a start. Exactly. Yeah. Can I ask you about your nonprofit that you're involved with? It just
Sure.
got recognized by local Pickens County. Can I ask?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, tell me. Tell
Although
us.
I normally don't allow questions
I know.
to be directed towards me.
Okay.
I don't really
Don't
talk
break
about my
the rule.
stuff
Can we be like,
too much, but we were
Gonzo?
really
Yeah.
honored. I'm really honored, and thanks to our founder Kent Blackmer, who founded Pristine Riders.
Okay,
We
Pristine.
combine cycling and cleaning up the environment. So our main message: if you pick up one piece of litter each bike ride, so I go like this on social media, just one. That doesn't mean I'm number one.
Right, yeah.
You just pick up one
Okay.
piece of litter and you get a free bike jersey. Literally taking ownership of the environment. We just were awarded a Pickens County Community Service Award last week.
Bravo.
So I'm really proud of that. I actually have the,
You have
the
it?
plaque today. I just got
Nice.
this today, actually.
Yeah. It's
Unfortunately, I
Joe-
couldn't attend the ceremony.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that volunteering in the community is another great way to get involved, to be the difference, part of the solution, right?
Right.
We like to say we're part of the solution to pollution.
Yeah, the solution to pollution. Right. It starts with litter. Sometimes it's more visual. Yes.
So in closing, we got about a minute left, Anita. Just some goals for this coming winter, whether personally or professionally.
Well, number one, physical health. I'll be 50. I'm going to be 50 in a couple of weeks or something, or a week.
Well, pre-happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you. So 50 is a big one for me. I'm excited. I've always wanted to. It's like I'm not fearing it. I'm really excited. So my physical health, mental health. I'm autistic, so I'm more aware of like my energy level, and I'm being more involved with my community, and you. I'm just happy to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah.
Did you have fun today?
I had a great time.
We're already out of time. I can't believe it.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Yeah, this is so much fun always being on your show.
You're not just doing it for the cookies,
Yeah,
are you?
and
Because
I'm
I
not
baked
doing
you
it for-
cookies
yeah.
again.
Thank you so much, and you recycled the bags too.
Yeah, I learned that's not just a repurpose; it's an upcycle.
Upcycle.
Because it's using the bag for a greater purpose.
Beautiful. Yep.
Thanks for joining us,
Okay.
Anita Thompson. Thank you guys for watching us and for watching us all season on the local show.
Nice.
The Gonzo Foundation is a nonprofit organization created to promote literature, journalism, and political activism through the legacy of Hunter S. Thompson, and is a proud supporter of the local show and GrassRoots TV. For more information, visit thegonzofoundation.org.
Locally owned and located at the base of Aspen Highlands, Highlands Ale House features delicious scratch-made comfort food, cocktails, beer, and more. Their sunny outdoor deck is ski in, ski out. 2 miles from Aspen, they're open daily, winter and summer.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Donate, shop, and save. The Mother Lode Mercantile, now open at the Pickens County landfill.
Celebrating our 26th anniversary, Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to experience Aspen's most amazing adventure locations and gain new skills to increase your safety, performance, and enjoyment while mountain biking, road biking, hiking, and paddling on Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure. Like Sundog Athletics on Facebook for fresh adventure updates.
Welcome to